Welcome back. So, don't know who's here, because I think people are just coming and going and tell me to stop streaming. I've literally streamed like four times this is the 4th time I'm streaming in like the past 12 hours. So, is it 12 hours? Actually, no, not 12 hours, sorry. Past like 16 hours. So we're going to continue this game. We only have 3 chapters left, so probably that'll be like 3 hours. I'll try and read as fast and as good as I can. Hello, Cherry. Welcome, Cherry. You missed the stream earlier. I assume you were asleep because time zones, or you were busy because time zones. But I hope that if you rewatch the VOD, you'll be like, oh my god, drama, mayhem, mostly drama. But okay. I'm gonna continue. When I returned to the mansion later that night, my hands are scratched and I think I might have bruises on my arms. Oh wait, I didn't click on the game even. Okay. Claude was not joking when he said he would not go easy on me. But he did compliment me more than once. Briar, I've hit you quite a few times and you haven't uttered a single complaint. Impressive. Crying is for the weak. Though everyone should be sleeping, I noticed that the light is still on at the tavern. I see Julian and Garland up at the table, speaking with each other and laughing. You rewatched the VOD? You did? Aw, that's so nice. If Claude had come back with me, he would be happy to see this. You two are still up. They're not even surprised when they turn to face me. Good days like this are even better when stretched. I haven't been off duty in a long time. Did you both have a good time tonight? It was great. Garland knows these little places in the town that I've never even heard of before. I noticed that Julian is more energetic than usual, her smile a little wider than normal. I wonder if she's drunk. I'm gonna get another drink. Hold on. Sorry, as soon as I hit stream, they're like, we need you to do things. And it's like, no, I'm busy. Okay, anyway. Another drink. Garland leans in towards me, his voice hushed. We already bought a replacement bottle when we were out today. Oh yeah. By the way, I mentioned this in the previous stream, but I had to mute the music in this game because apparently it's all copyrighted. So I'm just playing some lo-fi music in the background for you guys. Anyway, I continue. We would never take anything from the Martian without money. Right, is Julian drunk? Oh no, princess. Tipsy. It's like a buzz. Fades a lot quicker. Oh. Garland and I watched Julian as she fills her glass at the bar. I have to thank you, princess. I would never have asked her out if you and Karma hadn't insisted on it. So you told her. Garland looks at me with a pleased smile. I'll take that as a yes. She didn't really realize until much later. I just asked her out for food and she thought that's all it was. Where is Karma? Maybe he'll appear soon. Maybe Julian really did need to be told bluntly. What happened? I told her. And? We talked and remembered old times. He sounds like an old man. And I held her hand. I noticed Garland flinch ever so slightly, but he is smiling. He looks pleased with himself. And the night's not over yet, so... He trails off with a hopeful smile before he raises his eyebrows at me. What about you and Karma? What about us? I've asked him to train me. Train? Princess, you've asked him to teach you how to use a sword. What's this? Our princess is going to pick up a sword? Julian returns to the table, but I'm too tired to properly join in the conversation. I should leave them to their conversation and head to bed. I need to get some rest if I want to start practicing at night. I excuse myself to head upstairs. I am startled awake by an excruciatingly bright light. It is momentary, and when it is over, I am sitting in my bed, dazed and confused. My eyes burn. My hand flies to the pendant around my neck, where I see the second glass slipper with another piece. What? So she has two? Where did she get the second one from? Is it just because she went to sword fight on her own? Like, learning sword fighting? Is that a good deed? I guess, is it really a good deed if you're learning how to protect yourself? There's another piece. But when did I do another good deed? I grasp the necklace tightly in my hand as I make my way to the tavern. Everyone is doing their pre-morning chores when I get to the tavern area. I notice Karma glaring off into space, and then not far from him, the two knights. They haven't been up all night, have they? I make my way slowly over to them. Yeah, she's becoming better! So I like how this game, it has the protagonist gets from like really bad to like slowly get better. It's kind of nice change of pace. Even back then, you were like some kind of shadow, weren't you? You don't have to hide it. It was obvious you were tailing me back then. It was only because I was worried about you. I realized you really didn't have to follow me, Lan, but I'm glad you did. Lan? Jurian. Oh shush, Fritz used to call you that too. Lan is Garland's childhood nickname. He still gets embarrassed when I call him that. I see, so what are you two talking about? Oh, we were just reminiscing. I looked at the two of them critically for a few moments, waiting for them to say something. They both exchanged a glance before looking at me, confused. Well? Well, what? How did your date go last night? Garland makes a sound and turns bead red. Jurian's eyebrows quirk and then she laughs. Oh, it went well. So well, in fact, that you can see the two of us are still very much enjoying each other's company. Jurian is usually busy taking her rounds around the margin with a scowl on her face. She looks happy at being here with Garland, more relaxed. You might even say that we're dating. Isn't it funny how red he gets, Princess? You were blushing just as much yesterday when I... Oh, hello, Mr. Du Bois. I see you're entering the festive mood with hearts in your name. Or was that always there before and I'm just an idiot? The two of them are both blushing now, and the scene is oddly comical. Who knew that the two great knights of the Order of Caldera could be so easily undone? Both of you are amusing to watch. The two of them stare at me, suddenly solemn-faced. I suddenly remember that one conversation the knights all had at the castle. They were talking about how they all had personal reasons for being knights, despite the fact that they all served the king. I had always thought Jurian and Garland were stoic and honorable, that their only reason for becoming knights was a sense of justice. Seeing them here though, without that stoic facade, they feel more like people. My curiosity is piqued. Do you mind if I ask what your reasons were for becoming knights? Oh, my father was a knight. He put his life on the line for the kingdom. Jurian's father was a living legend in his own right, and he had the medals to back it up. My father wasn't around a lot, but I always admired him. Judging by the look on Jurian's face, it is clear to me that she really loves her father. My mother died when I was young, and because my father couldn't be around all the time to take care of me, I ended up practically living with Lan and his family. Lan always got annoyed when I called him my brother. Now I know why. Jurian wanted to follow in her father's footsteps. Then why did you join the Knights, Garland? Because he wanted to watch over me. I never knew you blushed so easily, Garland. Garland seems to blush even harder at that, and Jurian's laughter becomes infectious. I feel amusement begin to bubble up as I watch the two of them. But a cold voice cuts through the laughter and the atmosphere like a hot blade through ice. Could you keep it down over there? Turn and see that Claude's eyes, normally so warm, are cold. His usual smile is gone, replaced with a deep scowl. Oh, we're sorry. He's still glaring at the two of them. Oh, I can tell him about the necklace. Karma, I got another piece of my necklace. Another good deed. Cloud turns his gaze to me, but the frown doesn't disappear. That's nice, darling. Hello, welcome, Cabbage. Welcome, Animals. Yes, Animals. I think you were here yesterday, right? That felt lackluster and oddly disappointing. A good deed? Congratulations, Princess. You're close to breaking your curse. What did you get the good deed for? I'm not sure, actually. Maybe it was for helping Lan confess. I hear you and Karma went out of your way to make that happen. That happened yesterday, though. Maybe the magic was waiting to see what became of Garland and I? Claude makes a dismissive hand gesture from his table, frowning. If you two insist on being so affectionate, you should stay in the room. Affectionate? Jurian's smile has faded away into a dangerous scowl. Where Garland looks confused, Jurian looks notably irritated. The shadow is still there on his face. Claude does not look okay at all. Save. What's wrong? Something must be really bothering him. I should be patient with him, just like he is with me. Before I can even think about what I'm doing, I reach out to grab his hand. Oh, he slapped us! He slapped us! Did you get addicted to this game? No, I'm just trying to finish it. Cause I don't like leaving the game hanging, and I don't know, and I think it's only a perfect game to play during Valentine's Day. You shouldn't just reach out to touch a person without giving them some warning. But he does that all the time with me. I pull my hand back, and at the same moment, Claude's expression falls. He looks at me with an almost pained expression on his face. No, wait, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Silence descends for a few moments before Claude abruptly stands up from his table. Excuse me. I guess we should have yelled at him. Let me try yelling at him instead. I'll yell at him. It doesn't matter if something's bothering him. It isn't like him to be so rude. Irritation is no excuse for rudeness. Fine, I apologize. Happy? Alright, let's see. He still softens and he's in shame. Okay, there we go. But still, why do I feel so disappointed? Silence descends for a few moments before Claude abruptly stands up from his table, sorry. Excuse me. Claude turns briskly and heads upstairs, leaving me with the two of the knights. I wonder what's wrong with him. You think we've been running him too thin because of practice? I do not think it's you two. I get the feeling that Claude holds himself back from saying what he means sometimes. Sometimes he acts strange, distant, and recently he's getting more and more moody. Princess? I look over at Anise, who is smiling apologetically. Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Broom is getting kind of restless. Time to sweep, I suppose. Well, maybe cleaning will help get my mind off of things. The rest of the day goes by slowly. I'm stuck cleaning most of the day, and then serving later. At one point, I speak with Delora about the knights that had attempted to kidnap me, and she tells me that she and Parfait are meeting later to discuss their suspicions. I still do not understand what their suspicions are, when Sir Alcaster cannot possibly know who I am. My hands are sore by the end of the night, but I still feel like I can practice with the sword. I notice that both Jurian and Garland look restless too. There's two Briars. I mean, there's Briar in the game, but because I can rename the character, so I renamed her Briar. Garland eventually leaves for patrol, while Jurian remains at a table, looking deep in thought. I do not want to bother her, so I decide to try and find Claude. I go to his room, but find that the door is locked. Claude, Karma, are we training tonight? No answer. My heart sinks. He's not speaking to me. Did I do something wrong? For days, Claude stayed in his room, only leaving when he had to be on patrol. A few times I saw Parfait go into his room, but she refuses to talk about what is bothering him. I feel so useless. When Claude did disappear in the tavern or in the town, he still had the terrible grimace on his face. Look, I really don't want to talk right now. If you're so frustrated with me, why not just ignore me? No, I'm not going to train tonight. I'm not in the right state of mind. I don't want to talk about it. Just leave me alone. Please. I'm really beginning to worry about him. Today I'm in town running errands with Waltz for Parfait. It has been almost a week since Cloud started acting so strangely, so I thought I needed to do something for him. I know he likes dresses, and he told me once he likes roses, but can I really find something that will cheer him up? Perhaps he would like some jewelry. Waltz, do you remember where that jewelry store Karma likes is? I don't go there very often, so unfortunately no. Princess, is this a good deed? What are you doing right now? Did you think it would be a good deed? Good deeds need to be selfless, right? Generally, yes. I doubt this will count as selfless. I'm doing this to cheer Karma up. That sounds pretty selfless. But it's also so he can go back to teach me how to fight instead of sulking in his room. I've heard that Karma has been teaching you how to use a sword. Why do you want to learn how to fight? Because I want to be able to protect myself, and it's not like I can use magic. At least sword fighting gives me an advantage. I'm sorry, Princess. I wish I could teach you magic, but it doesn't work when you're under a curse. But on your 18th birthday, when you become the Tenebrum bearer, you'll be able to use magic. I'll instruct you if you want me to. That would be nice, though that does not solve my current problem. What would cheer Claude up? Walt starts chuckling beside me, and I turn to look at him, confused. Karma is important to you, isn't he? He's my partner, and he's helped me. He's also been patient with me and smiled even when I've said some really inconsiderate things to him. I'm glad, Princess, that he's your friend. My friend. Claude does not feel like a friend. He feels like something else. Oh, Princess, is this the one you were searching for? Walt points to a peddler sporting different kinds of jewelry, and I instantly make my way toward it. There are all kinds of glittering things displayed, and for a few moments I feel myself drawn to everything. Then I notice the price tags. I barely have any money left when the king gave me that pouch. I cannot afford any of this. Maybe we should do our errands first, then look for a gift. Maybe we'll find something as we look through the stores. But if I don't get Claude's gift today, I may not be able to give it to him tonight. Princess? Errands first. Walt has a good point. We might something while we do errands and we can get him out of it. Get him bread. Just get him like a loaf of bread. Besides, it's not right for me to put Claude above everyone else. We spend a few hours gathering the supplies needed for the tavern, and only do we start looking again for Claude's gifts. Princess, I can hold more of those bags for you. It's fine, I'm used to carrying lots of bags. Does Karma make you carry them around? Princess, you should really tell him off. He does a lot of other things for me, but next time I think I will. So long as he gets out of his room and sometime soon, I really hope he does. Hey, Princess. But now the problem is finding something that he'll like. What does Claude like? Princess. There's no reason for you to shout. Walt shakes his head at me, but he's smiling. Let me offer you a deal. A deal. If you help me set up one of my puppet shows, I'll pay you. You earn some money for your puppet shows? I get tips, so what do you say? I won't go easy on you, though. Yes, I'll help you. Why do you seem so surprised? I was just thinking that everyone's right. You've really changed, Princess. Maybe having Karma as a partner really was a good idea. Being partners with Claude may have changed me for the better, but I doubt I have done the same for him. I'm sure Karma would be very happy that you were buying him a gift. Receiving gifts from admirers isn't the same thing as you getting him something. He received gifts from admirers? For a few moments, I think about the woman who chased us in town a few weeks ago, and I feel a little unpleasant stab in my heart. Small things. A man will treat him to a dessert every so often. I saw a lot of it when we did errands together. I always make Karma accept those gifts without killing the man. Killing the man. It's dramatic, but it sounds like Karma. He punched Rumple when he asked him to marry him. Joke or not, Karma wishes disguised to be convincing, but then gets angry when people fall for it. He is still very much a child. You know how he is. He doesn't like being flirted with. Walt, do you know anything else about Karma's curse? Its curse? He never really talks about it. Claude may be even more stubborn than me if he is not letting anyone help him with this curse. Walt and I continue to search for our gift. Walt tells me I can look for something a bit more expensive, and that he'll just put me to work on another day by helping him with his puppets. I return to the jewelry peddler we found earlier. Hello, madame. Sir, what can I help you with today? Do you have any sort of rose-shaped jewelry here? The man refers me to a box full of many different rose-shaped earrings. He then showed me necklaces, and I realized belatedly that it is as if I am searching for something for Miss Karma, not Claude. My eyes scan the glass, nearly in defeat, before a little rose catches my attention in the back of the display window. It has a chain connected to it, but doesn't seem long enough to be a necklace. What's that one? It's our simple rose pendant, madame. It comes with a chain, but it can also be pinned on the chest. The man takes it out of the display, so I can look at it. Ah, that looks nice. Flirt with him by giving him bread. Just feed him all the bread. This is fancy, but not completely flashy. I feel a little click as I press my fingers to the pendant, and I realize it can also open. Oh yes, you can also put something small inside of it. This is perfect. I look at the price tag, and after making sure that it's not too expensive, I pay the shopkeeper. Walt pays him the additional fee, and then we walk back toward the merchant together. When we return to the margin, I go to my room to tuck the locket into a drawer before I head to the tavern to finish the rest of my chores. Just as expected, Claude is not downstairs today either. Jurian and Garland have taken to training with each other, though they seem agitated that Claude is not helping them. At the end of the day, I hurry to my room, where I write a few words on a piece of paper that I put into the locket. A normal rose would have withered, so I offer this one instead, in heartfelt thanks. I hold the locket tightly in my hand and start toward Claude's room. Why is my heart beating so fast? I'm just giving him a gift. I pause at Claude's door, remembering the last time I entered his room. I'm sure it's okay if I just go in. I open up the door to Claude's room, which is thankfully not locked, and step inside. Claude is sitting motionless in front of his mirror, shoulders slumped as he stares at his reflection. He's shirtless, and there's that tattoo. It seems different. Claude does not notice me at first. I notice that his hand goes to the tattoo over his chest, and then I hear him heave a heavy sigh. Slowly, I close the door behind me. It clicks, and that's when he suddenly turns to look at me. At first, there is just a shocked look on his face, and then anger. Again, why do you do this again, Briar? Save. I wanted to give you something. I tightly grip the locket in my hands as I stare at him. And this was so important, so very essential that you once again missed knocking on my door for a simple delivery. His voice slices through my heart. I wanted it to be a surprise. I'm not in the mood for surprises, princess. He's angry. In no time at all, Claude is suddenly right in front of me, his hands outstretched on either side of me, pinning me to the wall against the door. His face is so close, his expression is so fierce that I cannot even bring myself to think of a way out. The only thing I can do is stare at him levelly, without getting angry, without crying. I will not show any weakness. Why? Why aren't you struggling or screaming at me? That's what the Briar I know would do. Then you do not know me as much as you think you do. And you know nothing about me. I already have a retort prepared when I stop, realizing that he is right. I barely know anything about him. No, I don't, but I'd like to. Why do you insist on poking your nose into other people's business? We're partners. That's the only reason. It has to be. I am supposed to help you, so why do you keep secrets from me? Help me. His lips quirk, but his smile is sardonic. Claude, I want to help you. In the silence that descends between us, I find I cannot help but look at Claude's tattoo, at the thorns twirling around the rose. It is beautiful, but it also seems so lethal. Is this Mare's preference as a partner? Actually, I picked it because Cherry really wanted it the whole time. Like, Cherry, not the whole time, but like, he was, I remember him being one of my favorites, but also Cherry was like, really, yes, let's go for Karma. So I went for Karma even though she wasn't here. Or he or she wasn't here, sorry. When I glance at Claude again, he looks crestfallen, his eyes glittering like he might be on the verge of tears. Secrets are secrets for a reason, princess. You should know that. If I could speak about them, I would, but I can't. And you bursting into my room without any notice only makes it harder. Harder for what? Princess, you can't imagine what this all feels like. What is he talking about? And that woman I thought we were meant to be. She was so lovely, her smile as bright as the sun. Claude's eyes are far away. That's why never again. But then you ruined everything, Briar. You cut me down like... I pushed my hand against Claude's chest, catching him off guard and forcing him to stumble back. I cannot take any of this. I've ruined everything, then I'll just leave. You can have all the time in the world to yourself then. The locket I brought for him burns in my hand and I end up throwing it at his feet. Briar, wait! I ignore him as I run from the room. Wait, let me... Did I pick the wrong option there real quick? I want to check. I came to speak with you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. I came to check on you, and that was better. Okay. When I return to my room and lock my door, I feel too hollow inside for tears. It hurts to breathe when I think of Claude. I eventually manage to fall asleep, but only have snatches of restless dreams when my eyes finally close. Mother, are you and father in true love, like the fairy tales? I thought I forbid you to speak of fairy tales. Have you been reading them? No, Mother, I overheard someone in the palace talking about them today. Then I shall have to find that person and make sure they know what an appropriate topic of conversation in the palace is. But, Mother, the true love in fairy tales sounds so nice. Do you think I can fall in love with a prince? Dearest one, true love like that does not exist. But the love between a mother and her child is the truest kind. It cannot be replicated by anything else. All other kinds of love is an illusion. My love for you is all you will ever need. Do you understand me, my heart? Yes, mother. Yeah, the mother is terrible. Alright, chapter 8. We got 2 more, guys, including this one. Keep your stand straight, princess. Jurian gives me the warning, but too late on purpose. I can see the smile on her face as she effortlessly slides past my defenses and taps me on her shoulder with her wooden sword. I got you. Again. For the last few days, I have been practicing with Jurian and Garland because Claude still hasn't come out of his room. The knights offered to train me, and right now they are teaching me about ways to hold a sword. This is slow, but Claude did tell me I wouldn't be able to master the sword so quickly. Claude. He made me so angry the other day that I couldn't even properly give him my gift, and yet I still feel sad that he's not here teaching me himself. Come on, princess, focus. I jolt out of my reverie and nodded at Jurian. Okay. I ready myself for her next strike and once again get tapped, this time on the hip. Garland takes over after Jurian and we do rounds where I try to hit them with certain strikes. They are both good at teaching, but it does not feel the same as Claude's instruction. His lesson seems less like they were out of a book. Don't worry, princess, it always starts out slow. Lan was just as slow as training, but look at him now. Garland whips his head around in Jurian's direction, his face turning deep red. Jurian, that nickname. But you're so much fun to tease, Lan. She beams at him and then laughs at his embarrassed face. Our practice goes on for a few more minutes before the knights tell me to wrap up for the night. I think I'm gonna stay out here for a little bit. Princess, you know it's dangerous out here at night. If I don't return in 10 minutes, you can come back and check on me. Jurian seems unconvinced, but she eventually nods. Fine, but keep your guard up, princess. I watch the 2 knights as they head back. I see Garland put his arm around Jurian's waist, pulling her closer. I turn away from the sight, ignoring the heavy feeling in my stomach. I'll just practice the swings for 5 more minutes. The only thing I hear in the clearing while I practice is my shallow breathing and the wind in my ears. Something breaks my concentration, however. I see a glimmer of color in the forest and I instantly stop, my hands growing tense on the wooden sword. I was at. I glance around at my surroundings, and then I freeze when I feel a hand on my shoulder. I can feel someone's breath on my neck. This all feels familiar. Is this Claude? We save. And I'm gonna turn and point the sword. I am pretty sure I recognize Claude's hand, but because I know it's him, I also know what he wants me to do. I duck away from his hand and turn to quickly point my sword. The tip of the wood is at his neck, and for a few stunned moments, I think I've won. Even Claude looks surprised. It's really him, but then Claude's hands have moved, and he has one hand over my wrist and the other on my sword. Good, Briar, you realized you had an opening, but you broke your concentration. Claude. Claude removes his hands, allowing me to lower my sword. I'm sorry, Briar. I feel my breath catch in my throat when Claude holds out the rose pendant that I got for him. I feel my cheeks flush. Nice. You accidentally left this beautiful thing in my room when Well, I came to return it. Return it? Yes, you left it in my room, so I thought it appropriate to bring it back to you. Does he really think I left it there on accident? Why would I leave it in your room on accident? What? I brought it for you, and I wanted to give it to you, but you were acting so strangely, and... Claude's eyes widened, the surprise clear on his face. Briar, you bought this for me. Why does he look so shocked? Claude looks at me in awe for a few moments. His eyes go back down to the locket. He traces a finger around the intricate shape, his eyebrows slowly furrowing. It's to thank you for everything that you've done for me. Briar. This is beautiful. He lets the chain fall through his fingers as he stares at the rose pendant with adoration. I feel my heartbeat stutter as he turns to regard me with the same gentle smile. I like how Cherry's going between like, he's such a jerk to, oh, he's so precious. He leans forward and my breathing stops as he reaches out to hold up my glass slipper necklace. He's standing so close to me. You really are a good person, Briar. You completed your second good deed. I think some kind of congratulations is in order. Is there anything you want that I can give to you? I look up at him and notice that Claude's smile doesn't reach his eyes. He still looks so sad. I feel like there's so much I want from Claude, but I do not want to ask something that might make him sad. Hug? Is it hug? Huh? Claude looks at me in surprise. He thinks I'm being foolish to make such a request, doesn't he? I shouldn't have said anything. But before I can say anything else, Claude takes a step forward and wraps me in his arms. He pulls me towards him, and in those moments of silence, all I can hear is his heartbeat resounding in his chest. I can feel his warmth all around me, and his fingers clasp tight gently at my back. I feel so strange. My heart is racing and my knees feel weak. Something like this? He speaks right into my ear. It is a surprisingly pleasant feeling. Suddenly, Claude makes a noise of distress as he steps away from me. All the warmness that was pressed against me 1 moment ago is gone. Karma suddenly stops, eyes wide. He puts his hand on his chest and takes a step away from me, his fingers clutching at the fabric of his shirt. Claude has a pained expression on his face, only making me more anxious. Not now. Claude, are you okay? What's wrong? Oh, Briar, don't worry about it. He lowers his hand with the pained smile slowly fading from his face. This does little to reassure me. Was it my fault you were locked in your room for so long? He just looked so pained to be anywhere near me. No, most definitely not. I was feeling under the weather. And also bitter. Bitter? Why would he feel bitter? But it's not for you to worry about, darling. For now, we should head back. It's late and you need rest. I just got back from patrol, so I would like to rest as well. Is there anything I can do for you? No, sweet Briar. You've already done enough for me. He clutches the rose locket to his chest and sighs out a little with a gentle smile. The smile feels real to me. This is a beautiful gift, and I will treasure it always. Thank you, Briar. And now shall we head back? I nod at him, and we silently walked back to the Martian. When we make it back to the tavern, I feel tired, but also lighter than I have for weeks. Claude wishes me a good night before slowly walking off to his room, holding the rose locket I gave him tightly. Yeah, he's in love and his heart hurts, exactly. Today I am walking around town to do some errands with Claude. It has been quite a while since we have done this. Though we are here to run errands, there is also something else that drew me to town today. Yesterday, Waltz came back to the Martian and told us of an announcement the king was making today. Apparently, the announcement had been posted for at least a week's time, but Waltz had only caught on to it after hearing about it from the crowds after one of his puppet shows. I am not sure what this announcement entails, but I feel that I need to see the king to make it with my own eyes. I can see more people miling about than usual, which means most of them must be waiting for the king to speak. I have a bad feeling about this. It is not strange for the king to make announcements, but this feels so sudden, and with everything else that's happened to me, I feel on edge. Wow, Briar, you made this bag sound a lot lighter than they actually be. Stop complaining, Miss Karma. You get valuable experience out of carrying bags. Seeing Claude complain is amusing, especially since I know he can handle the load. I feel like a servant. What does that make me when you make me carry all those bags before? An assistant? I roll my eyes at him. We're both working at the Martian, you know? And then the thought strikes me. What do you even do at the Martian? Claude looks surprised at my question, but then he quickly smiles at me. I train at nights, of course. I also attract customers with my beautiful reputation. I start laughing, and Claude's face flushes. Darling, I get the feeling you're laughing at me. I wonder. We finish up the rest of our errands and then sit down in the town plaza to rest. Claude leaves briefly and then returns with a slice of cake for the both of us to share as a snack. I have a lot of things I want to ask him, and now feels like the right time to do so. May I ask you a question? Of course, darling. Anything. Do you enjoy dressing like a woman? I don't mind it, really. I appreciate the beauty in anything. You girls get to wear quite an assortment of lovely dresses and makeup. It's quite beautiful. I feel more comfortable in my own clothes, but I don't mind dresses. I guess if you had to wear a dress for so long, you'd get used to it. I have another question. And what would that be? When I was in your room the other day, you spoke about a woman. Were you talking about the witch who cursed you? Oh no, the woman I was talking about. He suddenly goes silent and lowers his head. His expression fades into something more melancholy, and I feel my heart lurch. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this up. To my surprise, Claude continues talking. Shortly after I came to Angeal, there was a woman that I met whose smile was as radiant as sunshine. She was beautiful, and when she laughed, everything felt right about the world. Hearing him talk about her makes me feel uncomfortable. Am I jealous? Claude watches me quietly, as if he is measuring my expression. Eventually, he goes back to speaking. I knew her for many months. Time passed, and I thought we were truly in love. And then He goes silent for a few moments, his eyes distant, his expression pained. Well, something's happened, and I realized she only loved me because of my curse. She was drawn to me just as any other woman is. She seemed so genuine in comparison to the other woman, but in the end, Claude trails off and lets out an exasperated sigh. You were truly in love with her. I was. I've dated many women, but I've never fallen in love with someone who honestly loved me back. So then the last person he loved was that one woman. Claude looked at me, and for a few moments he does not speak. Briar, do you mind if I ask you a question? No, I don't mind. Have you ever loved anyone? My mother, of course. I was referring to a romantic kind of love. Romantic kind of love. What does that kind of love feel like? Allow me to enlighten you. He smiles at me, and it is surprisingly genuine. I can feel simultaneously like floating and sinking. Your heart stutters and you worry about small things, about offending this other person some way. You wonder if they'll like what you're wearing, or if they would prefer a sandwich to a casserole when you treat them for dinner. You begin to find beauty in all of the things they do. Their presence makes you feel complete in a way you had never thought of before. You try to imagine life without that person, and find that you cannot. To even consider such a thing is painful, so much so that it feels like it might break your heart. Claude continues talking, but my mind is already whirling. Though he phrases things in a way that still feels unnecessarily dramatic, I feel a tinge of familiarity. The things he's describing. Those are the things I feel I am when with him. Before I can say anything, we hear the sounds of hooves and the both of us turn. I can see a procession of knights along with the king of the horse. He normally rides into town like this, but today he's not smiling, and there are way too many knights riding with him. And is that Sir Alcester? Let us go find a place to stand and watch. As you wish. Claude walks with me into the crowd gathering around the king, and we find a spot to spectate at the very edge, closer to the alleyways. My beloved citizens of 𝒖💊💄 I have come before you today to make an important announcement. Ever since I was given this crown, I have sworn to live my life for the people and to rule in all fairness, so that our kingdom could enjoy great peace. The crowd breaks into applause. I stare at the king, an uneasy feeling in my stomach when I notice that there is sadness in his eyes, though he is smiling. Then I notice Sir Alcester appears to be hiding a smile. I do not like where this is going. The king's speech goes on for long minutes after that, with him detailing the commitments he made, the goals he set, and finally, his love for the people. The audience around us claps and cheers, but Claude and I are silent. Something is not right. I nod in response. To this day I keep this promise. I will never break this oath, for it is the foundation on which I rule. The audience claps again, but I am silent, watching the king intently. Unfortunately, the unwelcome news that I bring to you today gives me reason to hand this foundation over to someone else. I have fallen terminally ill. The king's proclamation is met with shocked and angry chattering from the audience. I cannot hear anything that is being said over the cacophony of voices, but I know that the audience is dissenting. I stiffen as I stare at the king. He is lying. I can tell by the firm set of his jaw and the way his eyes flicker across the crowd faster than they ought to. The king has lied to me so many times before that I can recognize when he does it. I know that this unfortunate news must come as a shock, but this is an illness for which there is no cure. As for the question of my successor, he trails off for a few moments, and I think I see something in his eyes that hints at urgency, but I'm not sure why. Crown Princess 𝒖𝒊𝒂𝒂 is unmarried and still too young to rule on her own. I feel a pang of irritation and confusion. Another lie, 𝒖𝒊𝒂𝒂 could rule just fine with the help of Sir 𝒕𝒂𝒃 and the others. After much thought, I have come to the conclusion that our kingdom, which still continues to face danger from the witches, is best put in the capable hands of the commander of the Order of Chaldaea, Sir Alcester. What? I cannot hide my shock. The rest of the audience reacts similarly, their sudden outbursts a testament to their confusion. While I will be providing support and assistance from the sidelines, I cannot in all good grace continue to wear this crown when I know I cannot serve my people as they deserve. Simply put, I believe that the witches have gained more power in the recent months, and that Sir Alcester is best suited to deal with these conflicts. The fairy tale curse runs more rampant these days, and there have been more reports of incidents involving magic. The murmuring continues, except now the townsfolk sound panicked. This cannot be true. I do not miss the reluctance in the king's next words. Sir Alcester has also suggested a number of remedies to our laws, especially concerning our security and work hours. I believe that Sir Alcaster can better rule this country in these turbulent times. Please show him all the love and loyalty you have shown me. That bastard. Claude has a foul expression on his face, and his words feel heavy, even in a low whisper. I know the king. He takes every duty upon himself and would never hand his crown to somebody else. Once Sir Alcaster comes to stand on the podium, he silenced them with a glare. Citizens of 𝒖🔂, I swear to you that I will serve you as well as Gennaro has. That being said, I also believe some changes will need to be made. Sir Alcaster continues to speak. He mentions things like curfews for safety, extended work hours, and additional taxes to go toward the knights, but I'm slowly beginning to block out the drone of his voice. What is going on? No. Alcaster must have done something to force the king into this charade. The king stands behind Alcaster with his hands clasped, his eyes alert, but there's a helplessness to them that I've never seen before. It isn't long before the crowd's unsettled murmuring becomes agitated whispering. I'm stunned when Claude cups his hands to his mouth and starts shouting. There is only one king! King Gennaro! Claude grips my hand and starts leading me around the outskirts so that people cannot spot him as he continues his shout. The crowd begins to chant along with Claude, and then they draw nearer to the stage where my father and Alcaster are standing. There is only one king! King Gennaro! There is only one king! King Gennaro! Let's go, Briar. The crowd is right next to the platform now, and the chant carries on. Claude pulls me behind him, but my mind is on my father and on his desperate eyes. Hours later, the merchant's tavern is chaotic. People are talking over each other, trying to relay the scene that they saw in town today. Every visitor here is talking about what they witnessed. I have been in the corner of the room this entire time, trying to understand everyone but failing. Delora and Parfait are not here to calm all of this chaos. Hey princess, how are you feeling? I almost jump when I hear Rumple's voice. Surprised I can feel when a damsel is in distress, milady. I am not really in the mood for your flirting, Rumple. Oh, my apologies, I thought you might have wanted some cheering up. Where's your partner? He went out to town to survey the situation. Karma doesn't do anything around the tavern, but he does a whole lot for you, doesn't he? I suppose that's the least a man in love can do. I feel myself blush. What is Rumple going on about? Princess, you're pink. I'm not. My mind feels all scrambled now. This is all Rumple's fault. Thankfully, before Rumple can continue talking, the door opens and Delora walks inside to call the marching boarders into the reception room. When I step into the reception room, I am surprised to see two familiar figures standing beside Parfait. Emmeline and Rod. Both of them look downtrodden and discouraged. Everyone is noticeably shocked as they step inside. The prince and the princess, where did they come from? What is happening at the palace? What of Queen Ophelia? We need silence in the room, everyone. Delora raises her voice, effectively causing everyone to pause. She glances at Parfait, who nods and then turns to look at Rod and Emmeline. Princess Emmeline, if you would tell everyone what you told Delora and I. The room is unnaturally quiet as Emmeline begins her story. She starts with the events of 1 week ago. In the middle of a family dinner, Alcaster bursts in with soldiers and sees her, Rod and Ophelia in front of the king. Sir Alcaster said that if the king didn't hand over the crown, he would kill us. We had no idea a coup would be staged. The three of them were taken down to the prison cells with Ophelia taken to a separate cell. Sir Fitzgerald helped us escape, but only just barely. Fritz, are you openly disobeying your father? I hope that he is safe. Alcaster wanted to kill the king. I'm sure that he still will. But he has no reason to. The king has already handed over his crown. I speak before even realizing. Everyone stares at me, including Rod and Emmeline. Alcaster is a foul man. I only think he usurped the throne now without violence because he wants less resistance from the people. He never spoke up to my father before. Did you just say father? It's a long story, Em. Emmeline looks between Rod and I, her expression confused. You know each other? We do. Emmeline looks like she wants to say something, but she remains silent. Our mother is still inside the palace. We need you to save her somehow. And Sir Fitzgerald. What happened to Fritz? We don't know. He helped us escape, but we were spotted at the last minute. He told us to run ahead and leave him behind. We didn't see him again after that, and we couldn't just wait, so Rod brought me here. Right now we need to piece together this situation as quickly as we can, and then we need to figure out a way to save the king. I knew Alcaster was up to something, but I never thought it would escalate into this. Durian, what do you know about this? Garland and I weren't stripped of— Oops. One stripped of our titles because we disobeyed 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 orders. It was because we overheard 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 plotting something and tried to tell the king of his plot. 3 streams in a day? Yup, we're gonna finish this game. We're gonna finish it on Valentine's Day. We gave him a warning, but the king did not believe us, not with 𝒖�𝒊𝒂𝒎 and 𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 whispering in his ears. The king didn't think 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 was responsible for such a betrayal. He thought we were trying to turn him against 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 for our own gain. And so 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 was stripped us of our titles and banished us from the palace. Lady Parfait found us, and while we were happy to help out at the tavern, we also intended to eventually do something about the mess in the palace. So 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 has been planning to do this all this time. When we part for the night, Parfait and Delora take Rod and Emmeline to a room where they can share. It has been decided that they will be harbored here at the Mansion, a place that Emmeline apparently knew about but never came to because she wasn't cursed. Well, Rod did say that his family knew he was cursed. I noticed Emmeline looking at me many times throughout the night, but she never asked me anything. The next few days are a muddled mess. Everyone is busy trying to find out what happened and what can be done to help the king. I am sweeping the tavern half-heartedly one day, my thoughts on everything but my chores. Everyone's been trying to do something to help out the last few days. Though I've gone on quite a few trips into town with Claude to search for information, I haven't been able to find much. I feel so useless. I'm finally on my break, so I decided to go into the reception room to rest. When I step inside, I notice Emmeline sitting on the couch. She waves me over as soon as she sees me. She hasn't really openly spoken to me since she has been here. Parfait and Delora have been trying to hide her so as not to cause a ruckus in the margin. Rumors are dangerous now. You're Briar, right? Yes. Rod told me about your curse. He said that you're the king's blood daughter. I'm really sorry. I'm shocked by Emmeline's sudden outburst. What? I didn't mean to poo, but I took your place. How could I forget my own sister? We're not blood related. That doesn't matter. I would love you regardless. Emmeline was always trying to take me out and do things with me back when I was still at the palace. I distanced myself from her because I thought the king loved her more than he loved me. I still think that he maybe does. We weren't close. I barely spoke to you, or to Rod. Didn't he tell you that? He did. But perhaps now we can turn over a new leaf. Emmeline's as stubborn as always. I have more things to worry about than being her friend. I have to go. I'll walk off before the conversation can continue. If I hadn't been cursed and remained in the palace, would Sir 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 have taken me hostage too? The hours tick by, and as the tavern is emptied for the day, Delora calls everyone together to explain what she and Parfait have pieced together about the situation. Alright everyone, we've come upon some new information. The first is that 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 has cracked down on the riots in town. Anyone seen protesting his rule is thrown in prison. The king always valued people's opinions. 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 does not want opinions. He only wants to rule with an iron fist. Our patrols have shown that there is overall more security in the palace and around the town. They have been charged with keeping people quiet in whatever ways they possibly can. As we heard from the prince and princess, things are more turbulent in the palace. The king is still alive, but it is unlikely he will stay that way for very long. One thing is clear, given 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎's motives to take over the kingdom, I doubt he will rest until the king is dead. The king's men have turned against him, and even if there are loyal soldiers still left in the palace, we cannot contact them right now. Rescuing the king and queen will be on us then. We just so happen to have people in the tavern that have a shot at rescuing them. Prince Rod has the key to the secret passage so we can use to break into the palace. Secret passageway, but only the king and the commander of the knights have a key to the passage. So how did they get a copy? Who's going to join us on this mission? Julian and Garland both volunteer immediately, followed shortly by Claude and Waltz. I'll go too. The room goes quiet as I step forward and volunteer. Princess, we can't just allow you to put yourself in danger. I look at Claude, who is staring at me, shocked. I took up the sword so I could protect those I care about. Princess, you don't have nearly enough practice. But I can help. I still have time to learn. I agree with Parfait, Princess. The palace isn't the place for you to try your newfound sword skills. Then you may as well chain me up, because I refuse to stay here while you all go save the king. Princess? Well, she has been practicing with the rest of us. Don't encourage her, Julian. But it's not like any of us can stop her anyway. You're right, the princess is quite stubborn. Claude agrees with Julian, but I can tell that he does not like the idea of me going along with them. If only we had the time to get reinforcements from Karma's country. Karma's country? Brigantia. How is it possible that a Brigantian citizen can simply ask for reinforcements? Karma is the crown prince of Brigantia. There is some shuffling in the room as everyone turns to gawk at Claude. Rumpel, Anise, Rod, and Emmeline all look shocked by this revelation. You're the Lost Prince? Lost Prince. It sounds like such a tragedy, doesn't it? Anise suddenly looks distressed as she fiddles her thumbs. All this time I never knew. I'm so sorry, Your Highness. There's no need for formalities, Anise. But I'm the Lost Prince after all. I keep my lineage a secret because right now I'm just a normal commoner. But you're the prince. Couldn't you still ask for reinforcements? Even if I did ask for reinforcements, I'm pretty sure they would never come in time. Besides, I can't go back to my kingdom yet. He cannot go back while he's still cursed. The conversation continues in a more solemn tone. Eventually, we start speaking of our plan to enter the palace. When the details are all finalized, I repeat everything to make certain that I know what is meant to happen. Waltz will lead us to the palace then, and Julian and Garland will follow right behind him, watching for the most immediate enemies. Leave it to us. We'll deal with any resistance before it touches you, princess. And Karma will be watching from the back, along with Delora. A witch and a prince for backup. Delora smiles wryly. Claude rolls his shoulders. Thank God I'm not the only one smooching with virtual person on Valentine. Everyone in chat is smooching with virtual person today. I like to think of us as more the closing act. Though if it all goes according to plan, we will have no need for either the opening or closing act. It is a small task force, which is better. The smaller the better. The last thing we want is to be noticed. We decided to meet again over the course of next week to finalize our plan and carefully survey the situation in town before parting. Claude has taken to training me, Julian, and Garland at the same time. Just the other day, he had all of us attack him together. Even though I am nowhere near as good as a trained knight, I still managed to hit him once. I feel like things are coming to some sort of conclusion, yet I still haven't done 3 good deeds. Today we finalize our plans for getting into the palace. We have mapped out where the king and Ophelia must be in the prisons, where the guards might be positioned, and how we plan on sneaking in. I sit down on my bed and I'm about to lay down when I hear something. Hello, love. My, you're red. Were you thinking about me? I noticed that he has one hand on his chest tonight, but then he has been doing that more often lately. I notice it during practices and sometimes when I catch his eyes. Is he sick? Darling? I shake myself at the sound of Claude's voice. What if I was changing? You could have knocked. Well, you didn't seem to have a problem when you walked in on me changing without announcing yourself. That's different. He strolls inside and steps closer to me. He smiles at me mischievously. Oh, how so? Cat got your tongue? Claude shakes his head, his smile softening. I really didn't mean to come in to disturb you. I just have something important I needed to say to you. Claude kneels in front of me and furrows his eyebrows. I want to insist you reconsider going to the palace with us, as Parfait and Delora have said many times it will be dangerous. Nothing you say is going to change my mind. I want to do what I can to help everyone. Yes, and that terrifies me. Terrifies you. If your stubbornness leads you to putting your neck out there for someone, I would never forgive myself for your injuries. If you want to help me, stay here where you'll be safe. I'm not some damsel that needs to be protected. Briar, all I want is for you to stay safe, so that when we save your father, you can face him with a smile. I won't be able to face my father unless I am one of the people to save him. Stubborn as always. I sigh, irritation welling up in my stomach at the look on Claude's face. He's calling me stubborn, but he's being stubborn about this. You said I've improved with my sword fighting. You have. You've improved so much because of your resilience and drive, and because you're genuinely interested. It's because I have a good teacher. Oh, your compliment is gentle music to my ears. Your compliments mean a lot to me, Briar. My eyes fixate on his soft smile and at the gentle crinkles at his eyes. Our eyes locked, and for a few moments I'm aware of a light energy between us. and glanced away hurriedly, not entirely sure what would happen if I kept staring at him. My heart beats unsteadily in my chest. Oh, thanks, Noah. Thanks for the virtual chocolate. Earlier today, I comforted your sister when she was crying about the things that had happened in the palace. Emmeline, why would he comfort her? I saw her crying downstairs in the reception room earlier today, without anyone there. She is a rather sweet girl. I keep thinking about the two of you are completely different. You're both strong-willed and stubborn, but she wears her emotions on her sleeve, while you keep it all inside of you. I'm not hiding anything if that's what you're implying. Mother always told me crying was weak. Claude stands up and leans forward. Before I know it, I'm in his arms. Briar, I'm always here for you. I feel flustered again and my mind feels foggy. I can barely comprehend what's in my mind or in my heart. Yeah. Thank you? You never need to thank me, Briar. But you've done so much for me. It's not just the sword fighting, it's your patience, your company, your saving me when I needed help. It's not true. I'm pretty sure I'm the most selfish person in this tavern. All I ever want is things for myself. I never thought you were selfish, Cloud. He puts a hand to my cheek and looks at me solemnly. You don't think that me wanting you is... Suddenly he steps back, his hand on his chest again, his breathing heavy. I stare at Claude with wide eyes. Claude, are you okay? I'm fine. He sighs out slowly, but he sounds obviously pained. I'll go get Anise. No. I'm fine. I swear it's just a spell of dizziness. But you... He manages a small, tight-lipped smile before he straightens and shakes his head. His hands are visibly shaking. He must be tired. But Claude, do not tell anyone about this, okay? I don't want them to worry. Why is he always so stubborn? He's obviously in pain. I clench my hands into fists as I frown at him. Why must you always be so secretive? You're keeping something from me, Claude. I'm sorry, Briar. Claude abruptly leaves the room, leaving me with my fragmented thoughts. Chapter 9, last chapter! Today I will land another hit on your karma. If you can, darling, I welcome the challenge. Princess, your sight is open. I bring my sword up closer to my side as Garland strikes me. Tonight is the first night I get to use a real sword as opposed to a practice sword. The sounds of metal clashing echoes into the night. Is this what a real battle feels like? We have been practicing under skirmish conditions for the last few days. Since tomorrow is the day we enact our plan, we are doing some last-minute practice. Remember, fighting back-to-back is better than doing it alone. Claude dodges the Jurian's sword as he speaks, but I notice that he seems to be taking special care not to look in my direction. He's been fine for the last few days, but I'm not sure when his pain will return. If only he would tell me what was wrong with him. When Claude finally calls the end of our practice, we are all exhausted. Good job, everyone. You will all be fine tomorrow. Garland turns to face me, a soft expression on his face. And if it comes down to it, Jurian and I will protect you. Garland looks over his shoulder at Claude. Both of you. That's our job as knights. I'm quite capable of protecting myself, but I do appreciate the offer. It's late. We should all get some rest. The two knights excuse themselves, leaving me with Claude. Briar, you should go to bed. Princess, I have a feeling I won't sleep much tonight anyway. Be that as it may, you should still try. I'm about to retire for the night as well. I feel like this one makes sense, but this one also makes sense. Talk to you? About what? Claude takes a step back and I stare as his hand absently moves to his chest. Are you really okay, Claude? I've been perfectly fine this week. He's lying. He's obviously in pain. Why do you have to keep your pain a secret? Why won't you talk to me? I've told you before that some things are better kept a secret, Princess. Claude sighs out and then leans forward to set a hand on my head. Briar, promise me you'll stay behind me if we're attacked. And if at any point it looks like we may not make it, you're to run as fast as you can back to the marshal. But that is cowardly. Briar, don't you remember what I said before? Sometimes running is the right thing to do. Never run into an impossible situation. Instead, live to fight another day. Promise me you'll stay behind me. Please, Briar, give me the peace of mind. promise? If I make him feel better, before going into this mission, I cannot deny his request. Claude's expression softened as he moved away from me. I'll stay behind you. Thank you, princess. Let's attempt sleep in preparation for tomorrow. When this is all over, I'll pry Claude's secrets out of him. Alright, come on, action time! Action time. Oh, not yet. Tonight, oh yeah, it is. Okay, tonight is the night, and everyone is about ready to go. I can't get this feeling of foreboding off of my chest. Everyone is gathered close to the door, ready to see us off. Everyone except Princess. Rumpel suddenly appears. A niece is coming up to stand right next to him. What are you two doing here? Well, of course we came to wish you good luck, just like everyone else here. We'll be waiting for you tonight, so that we can celebrate everyone's return. Be careful. Emmeline, who has been everywhere with her brother since they came here, is standing right beside him now with a smile. I will pray for your safe return. Her smile wavers, and I can tell she is uncertain. She has the great knights of Chaldea, 2 witches and a prince. She'll be fine. Rod's responses are cut as usual, but I cannot help but notice the hesitance in his voice. Even though he stares at me without expression, I think I can see a tinge of worry in his eyes. Rest assured that we will keep the princess safe. We're not going to let Alcaster get away with what he did to Angeal and its royal family. Parfait steps forward last. She and Delora glance at each other, and I feel as if some secret message bounces between the two of them. Delora nods ever so slightly before Parfait turns to the rest of us. Her eyes eventually fall on me. You've changed since you've been here, princess, but your dedication and resolve never wavers. It has always been there, just beneath the surface. Stubbornness or resolve. It is as if Parfait is able to read my thoughts. She smiles as she sets a hand on my shoulder. Your dedication is much like King Gennaro's. You are proud and honorable, and always take steps in the right direction. That is why I know you'll be back tonight. Just as Rumpel said, we'll be waiting for you. All of you. Stay safe tonight. I nod my head as everyone gathered around begins to repeat their hearty goodbyes. It is Delora who walks away first. We all follow behind. The night has just begun. Our way to the palace gates is uneventful, but we pause some distance away from them to take shelter in a nearby alley. There are knights everywhere. Waltz points to what looks like a regular section of the wall. There is the hidden door to the tunnels. If we time it right between the knights' patrols, we should be able to make it. On my signal. Claude puts a hand on my shoulder and squeezes. It is an abrupt gesture and doesn't last long, but the motion calms my nerves somewhat. We will be fine. Our footsteps echo in the tunnel. Standing in front of me are Julian and Garland, who are flanking Waltz. Delora stands beside me and Claude is at my back. This small tunnel makes it seem like we brought a lot of people. This way. We silently follow Waltz's instructions. How is it that Waltz know about these tunnels? I've already taken into account the guards and where they might be positioned based on Prince Rod's information. We should all be right. Garland and I will act as distractions if needed. Princess, leave most of the fighting to us if there's any to be done. I know. I will only fight if I need to. If only I wasn't cursed, I would be able to fight to my full extent. I think you're still quite capable without all your magic, puppeteer. Oh, a compliment. It's an honor. Miss Karma. I'm only in distress because of Julian, you know. Julian crosses her arms and cocks an eyebrow at Claude. I wouldn't fall in love with you, no matter what you say. That's what they all say. We're here. Suddenly, everyone goes quiet. I feel a lot heavier as I stare at the staircase in front of me. This should lead me to the throne room. I did not know we had a secret passage in the throne room. How much does Waltz know about the palace? Immediately after we step into the throne room, we split apart to avoid the guards' gazes. I stick close to Claude and Waltz as Delora conjures a blanket of shimmering fog that envelopes the guards. I watch as the guards' eyes close before they slump to the ground. Delora drops her hands on all the guards are truly asleep. Amazing how intolerant humans are to magic. Let's keep going. Getting through the palace is no easy feat. Hallways that were easy to get through before are difficult to traverse now with all the soldiers standing around. Dolores casts a spell to silence our footsteps into quiet muffles, but moving is still difficult, especially with such a group. Eventually, we arrive just outside the tunnels that should lead to the castle's prison. I'll stand watch. Be careful, Waltz. I will. We enter another network of tunnels. Jurian, Garland, after you. Jurian glances at me briefly, and then at Claude, who nods a little stiffly. We'll be right back. In accordance with the plan, Claude and I are left at the halfway point of the tunnels to ensure a clean escape as Delora, Jurian, and Garland continue on to the prison. It should be fine, but I am still worried. My eyes wander to Claude, and I bite down on my lower lip when I notice his hand is once again raised to his chest. I find myself reaching out to grab Claude's hand, but he swiftly pulls it away. The glare on his face takes me by surprise. Why is he so angry? Claude puts a hand to his chest and flinches as he leans on the wall. Not now. His voice sounds pained. What is he talking about? Claude. I need some space, princess. But I am fine. I cannot help but feel irritated at the way Claude has snapped at me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be this way. He trails off, his eyes distant. Because of your curse, right. Most of the time he is sociable and a pleasure to talk to, but then he reverts to the disdain. It is like he is two different people. I cannot understand why he is like this. Why do I care so much for someone who keeps secrets? Briar, I wish I could explain, but if I did, you would hate me. Or more accurately, you would be afraid of me. I'll never be afraid of you. Wait. Okay. What is there to be afraid of? Claude wears a pained expression as he looks at me. I see him once again grabbing at the collar of his dress, looking like he's some kind of quiet agony. That's what she said too. Is he talking about that one woman from before, the one who didn't love him? He thinks I'm the same. I'm not like her. Briar. Claude's voice trails off at the sound of running. His hand moves quickly to the hilt of his sword just as I reach for mine. We only relax when he sees Jurian, Garland, and Delora heading towards us. Why are they alone? Where are the king and queen? They went to the prison. I have no idea where else they could be. Delora steps out from between the two of them, her expression somber. This doesn't bode well for us at all. We can't keep sneaking without direction. This is a sure way to get caught. The words had just left her mouth when the alarm sounds behind us. Don't tell me. It's the alarm! Everyone draws their weapons as Waltz appears, running towards us with a harried expression on his face. The knights are on their way. How did they know we were here? In seconds, I hear the clanking of metal, and then there are knights upon us. We are forced to scatter to deal with different opponents. A guard rushes at me with his sword, and I somehow manage to block his attack. I should be able to wind around him. The knight falls after I catch him from behind and give Claude an opening to attack him. Briar, stay behind me. I promised I wouldn't, remember? Let's keep it that way. A smile flashes across his face, and for a few moments he seems more like the Claude that I know. A knight manages to separate Claude and I, leaving me by myself. He grabs my arm. Unhand me! I watch in shock as a glimmering fog surrounds my attacker, his eyes closing as he slumps to the ground. He is the first to fall. Seconds later, most of the knights in my immediate vicinity have fallen to the ground. I can tell by the subtle rise and fall of their chests as they are asleep. Sorry, I couldn't focus long enough to cast that spell earlier. Delora drops her hands and turns to address Waltz, Claude, and I. Head toward the entrance hall. The king must be in one of the central rooms. Jurian, Garland, and I will head to the bedchambers in the east wing to look for the queen. Splitting up is not part of the plan. We don't have much of a choice anymore if we're going to get the king and queen out of here. We have to improvise. Now go. Claude grabs my hand and jerks his head at Waltz. Let's go. The three of us rush out and into one of the palace hallways. I keep my gaze forward while Waltz and Claude watch for enemies on either side of us. On our right. Claude grabs his sword and moves before Waltz and I can respond. He dives low toward the soldier, his sword poised straight for a devastating blow. Knights begin to approach us from the left and I raise my sword, readying myself. Waltz snaps his fingers, a flash of light blinding the men in the immediate vicinity, and I use the opportunity to rush the knights in front of me. I grit my teeth as I attack. Most of my blows are lucky. There are too many knights for me to be able to get the upper hand. There are so many of them. Well, if it isn't the most desirable princess. I whip around to attack the man that spoke to me, but he is nowhere to be found. Where is he? Who are you? I wonder. Briar! I turn and see Claude running toward me, a panicked expression in his eyes. I take the step forward him when a masked man suddenly blocks my path. Who are you? I raise my sword, but the masked man taps his cane on the floor before I can swing. and an incredible pressure blasts out from the king. It shoves Claude to the floor and blows me backwards. I hit the wall hard and my vision darkens. Claude. Where am I? Why can't I see anything? My head hurts. Rise and shine, sleeping beauty. That's so accurate to my name. I jerk upright at the familiar voice. You're the man who knocked me out. The man laughs and I blink as I try to pinpoint the direction of his voice. Did he blindfold me? I command you to take off this blindfold. I don't take orders from princesses that no one remembers. But I am a gentleman, so I suppose I shall have to heed to a lady's request. The blindfold is abruptly pulled off and I flinch at the sun brightness. Why, hello there, princess. My captor looks at me, amused. He wears a crooked grin on his masked face and a cape on his shoulders. Who is he? My eyes wander to the throne, and I cannot help but gasp at what I see. The king is strapped to the throne, hands bound, mouth covered. Your Majesty! The king pauses to look at me, his eyes containing a mixture of alarm and confusion. I turn to glare at the masked man. Let him go! No can do, princess. Though, don't you think he still looks regal sitting on this throne like that? I grit my teeth as I begin to struggle against my bonds. Struggle all you like. You won't get out of those knots anytime soon. Who are you? The masked man drops to an elegant bow. I'm called Varg. Varg, what have you done to my father? Me? Nothing. Well, nothing much. I guess gagging a person and tying their hands behind their back counts as something. Are you working for Sir Alcaster? I don't work for anyone. So he's a mercenary. The door flies open and Alcaster steps in, his face full of anger. Mithros, the fool! How absolutely useless he was. Varg gives a dismissive shrug. He regards me again with his mischievous smile. Well, I do agree with that wholeheartedly. That man is in the past. Here, in the present, we have someone far more interesting to deal with. Varg gestures at me. I glare at Varg before turning my gaze to Alcaster. I used to think Alcaster was someone to be respected, not anymore. If it isn't the princess herself. You remember who I am. Once Mithros made the connection, it was just too obvious to be false. Could Sir Mithros remember me? Alcaster shifts his attention to the king. Gennaro, do you not remember this girl as your own blood daughter? My eyes met the king's, but I see no recognition in his eyes. He cannot remember me. I haven't managed to break my curse yet. Why are you doing this to my father, to the kingdom? Everything I do for the kingdom. All successful rulers have run with an iron fist. Fear is the base motivation. A king that is too lenient and does not inspire fear has no business being on the throne. But the people of Angeal love their king. Before I had thought that the townspeople were despicable because they hated me. Now I understand those reasons. They may have judged me as mother's daughter, which is wrong, but that does not mean they should be subject to a regime on fear. Your obligation as a ruler is to rule for the country, not the people. Back when the queen was still alive and this place knew the fear of the witches, they were far more productive. Fear motivates, fear makes a man. King Alcaster, you better have a good excuse for interrupting. Your Highness, there's a beast. What are you blabbering about, you fool? A beast, a magical beast is rampaging around the palace. Is this the dead witch's doing? Dead? Witch? No, Dolores is fine, she has to be. Out with it, did Mithros do this? What? I cannot stop myself from blurting out the question. Sir Mithros is a witch. He was a witch, but now he's dead. He turns to his knight and demands more information. I'm too shocked to hear their words. Sir Mithros, a witch, impossible. What of the other palace intruders? You've managed to apprehend some of them, but we can't get to everyone with the beast taking us out. That damn Mithros, still a pain even after death. What did you do to Sir Mithros? Did you not hear me, girl? He is dead. Killed by my hand. But why? He was helpful at first. We worked together to achieve our own personal goals. He eyes me cautiously. He wanted you, princess. Sir Mithros was a witch. That would explain why he still remembered me. Why did he want me? Who knows? It doesn't matter anymore. I gave him my knights to assist him in his search when the witches could not, but in the end, the fool was too power-hungry. You never entered into my plans? You would have been safe, princess, had you just stayed put. But now that you're here, you'll come in handy. You got a gas in aspiration for all the... Okay. Also, hi, Abu, for welcome. 𝒊𝒂𝒅 turns back to the knight, who immediately bursts into exclamation once more. The beast is moving quickly. We don't know how much longer we can keep it from this room. There's a beast in the palace, and it's Sir 𝒕𝒏𝒻's doing. I am so confused. And what about the others? Are they okay? Let me go, 𝒊𝒂𝒅. You are not going anywhere. It sounds like some of your friends are very persistent. They'll be coming for you, and when they get here, I will kill them. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much, 𝒊𝒂𝒂. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. You, princess, are going to make excellent bait. Oh wait, I forgot to guess. I can't guess. My voice is like dying a bit. You know, I like this turn of events. Kind of amusing. You, tell me, what is all of this? Varg looks unmoved by 𝒊𝒂𝒅's anger. It is 𝒕𝒏𝒻 that summoned this beast, is it not? Then you must know what is happening. You're asking me, of all people? Ha! As if I would be able to answer any of your questions. You. Gasp! Varg! It doesn't matter how many times you say my name, 𝒊𝒂𝒅. I won't have any answers for you. Sir 𝒊𝒂𝒅 turns to me, his eyes manic. Whether this 𝒕𝒏𝒻's is magic or magic belonging to one of your friends, I'm not gonna let it live. Could Delora create a beast out of thin air? Sir 𝒊𝒂𝒅 draws his sword from his sheath and curses under his breath. I squirm, desperate to find some kind of break in my restraints. Varg surprises me, however, by reaching down and cutting the ropes binding my arms with the sword that I recognize. You have my sword! I stand up as quickly as I can and grab the sword from him. That was too easy. I eye Varg warily as his mouth twists into a smirk. What are you doing? Why are you helping me? Help. All I did was cut some ropes. Besides, I'm curious to see what you do with that toothpick of a sword. He talks like he doesn't care at all what happens. Don't think about it too much, princess. It's probably a little too much for your small head. I swing my sword toward him, and Varg catches it with his cane. You really think that I'm the one you should be fighting? The door creaks and falls off its hinges. The knights stumble back, and I hear screaming as loud footsteps sound against the hall's tiles. So what will you do? Run, hide, or will the beast kill you too? My eyes focus on the large figure entering the room. Though I cannot make out for specifics at first, the form grows more distant the further it moves into the room. Whatever this is, I cannot fight it. There is a moment of eerie silence, and then 𝒊𝒂𝒅 yells and the knights rush forward, attacking the beast as a collective. The beast throws them off with surprising nimbleness, his rage in every swipe. I dodge away just before a man's body falls on top of me. Over here, beast! Sir 𝒊𝒂𝒅 rushes at the beast. I finally manage to clear a line of sight to the king, who is still bound and helpless on the throne. The king! I have to get him out of here. I run toward the throne, but someone stops me dead in my tracks. Saving the king really shouldn't be your priority right now. I grit my teeth and swing my sword at Varg, but he easily darts away from me. I'll be watching my back. It is then that I notice the beast slowly making its way toward me. Why would it be after me? Either I stay here and fend it off, or... 𝒊𝒂𝒅 catches the beast with a broad swipe of his sword, and the two are focused once more on each other. I glance urgently at the king, then at the doors. The beast moves again, and I realize it is once more heading toward me. There's no way I can help the king in all of this mess. I need help. I have to find the others. Hopefully 𝒊𝒂𝒅 will keep this beast busy long enough for me to get them. I turn and bolt through the room, weaving my way through the chaos of knights as I head toward the door. I glance over my shoulder one last time at the king. His eyes are trained on the battle before him. His hands grip the arms of his throne, but there's nothing he can do. I am so sorry. I'll be back. But for now, I have to find the others. I dart past the carnage in the room, stepping over and around bodies as they appear. Halfway to the door, the beast lunges past Sir 𝒊𝒂𝒅, and for a few moments I think he might be attacking me. Stay back! I hold my sword out in front of me and stand in defensive position, and like Claude taught me, but the beast never reaches me. You ruined everything, beast. 𝒊𝒂𝒅 is suddenly in front of me, waving his sword at the beast. I stumble back toward the doors, my heart beating loudly in my chest. I have to get out of here. Chapter 10, The Beauty and the Beast. Wow, who would have thunk? Where did the beast come from? And I thought there were 9 chapters, but I guess there are 10. Where did the beast come from? Knights immediately rush toward me. I back away as far as I can without re-entering the throne room. Princess, come quietly and we'll keep you somewhere safe until this all dies down. I cannot take them all at once. Even knowing that I still pull out my sword, I take a few steps back and then suddenly feel my back pressed up against something. The beast stands behind me, its back to me. I stand in its shadow and I realize that even if turned around, it could still swat me to the wall just like the rest of its victims. But it's just standing there, together. Together? The beast says nothing more. Do I still feel on edge? There's something oddly familiar about all this. Claude told me once it was better to fight back to back. I will trust you for now, whatever you are. I do not know if it understands me, but I can hope. It seems more like a human than any kind of animal. Princess, get away from the beast. It will... The knight never finishes his sentence as the beast sends him flying through the air. Why is he helping me? The knights fall like dominoes to the beast, but manage to remain standing when I strike them with my sword. Even just taking one down is so hard. These men have been trained for years while I haven't had the luxury of a year. Out of the corner of my eye I sense movement. I see a gleam of silver and hear a grunt as a sword is raised into the air. The sword is nowhere near reaching me, but... The beast! I aim a kick at an approaching knight before whirling around to look at the beast. The oncoming sword comes closer to the beast's exposed back, and I know that the beast will not be able to dodge in time. Move! Emo wolf! That's hilarious. I shove past the creature and catch the knight's sword with my own before it can harm the beast. My arms are shaking underneath the strength of the impact between our swords. I feel like my arms are going to give out. Then a flash of light appears, so bright that everyone is temporarily blinded. I stumble back, rubbing at my eyes. From the sounds of it, the beast is continuing to drive back the knights, most of them shouting to each other to retreat. What was that? When I'm finally able to see again, my eyes automatically land on my feet. I stare in shock. She did it! She did both the glass slippers. I quickly reach up to my pendant and realize that it is no longer there. I completed my 3 good deeds. Briar. It knows my name. I look around and realize that the beast and I are alone. The knights having fled. Did the beast drive off the rest of them? I feel a pressure at my back and realize the beast is touching me. My first instinct is to run, but the words it utters next paralyze me. You... okay. Every word sounds breathless and pained, like it takes too much to speak. Is it worried about me? I watch in shock as the beast appears to gesture towards my shoes. You did it. I step back warily. What are you? The beast reaches out and I see something glittering in the palm of its hand. The rose locket! For a few moments, my heart plummets into my stomach and my hands begin to quiver. What did you do to Claude? The beast's shadowed fingers curl over the locket even as he stares at me. Gave me. I gave that locket to Claude. Cherry's like, I knew it! I knew that was Claude! The beast only stares at me for a few moments longer, and then suddenly I realize that his words, nothing more than a pained growl, do not hold any malice. I gave that locket to you. The beast slowly nods. My grasp on my sword loosens as I stare at him in shock, realization dawning upon me. Claude. Yes. So this is your secret. Why would you not tell me? I could have hurt you. Claude has another form, a cursed form, and he never told me. Why? As my mind whirls, I feel everything coming together like the pieces of a puzzle. Secrets are secrets for a reason, Princess. You should know that. If I could speak on them, I would, but I can't. Briar, I wish I could explain. You would hate me, or more accurately, you would be afraid of me. All those times Claude was clutching at his chest. You were clutching your tattoo so many times before, like you were in pain. The beast growls and the sound is surprisingly soft, almost a sigh. Hers. Then the tattoo was a warning. The first time I saw that tattoo was just a beautiful rose. The second time it had more thorns. The main character befalling every strike, and she said in Claude, I could have hurt you. I guess this is a spoiler, but if you get the bad ending, she outright kills him. When the rose became ensnared in thorns, did he transform? And he always touched his tattoo when he came too close to me. Claude, your curse did not make others fall in love with you. It stopped you from loving anyone too, didn't it? He mentioned that woman before, the one who thought he loved him but didn't. Is it possible that she saw him in this form and was terrified of him? If you loved anyone, you would turn into a beast. You loved a woman once, but she only loved you because of your curse. The minute you transformed, she was scared of you, wasn't she? Yes. He sounds so pained. The reason Claude had been trying to hide everything from me is because he is scared that I would have feared him. That's why beauty has always been so important to him, but the curse cast upon him makes him both beautiful and a beast. I wanted you to love me, but no one could love a beast. His words are dwindling. It almost sounds like he's being suffocated on the inside, with how slowly he's speaking. Claude, I have never cared much about appearances. People have worn masks on their face their whole life around me. Claude, I take a deep breath and face him. I will love you, no matter what form you take. I drop my sword to the ground and make my way over to him. I rest my cheek on his chest and wrap my arms around him. I love you. The room is filled with a bright but gentle light. It almost feels like I'm bathing in sunlight. For a few moments, I forget my worries. Everything feels blissful and quiet, and my heart feels full. Then moments later, I feel warm arms around my waist. I love you too, Briar. He's back to normal, guys! When I open my eyes, I still can't see anything, even though I know that the light has faded. The warmth is still there too, but now I feel it immediately on my skin, and I realize that it is because Claude is hugging me. Not as a beast, but as a man. Did I break his curse? I realize this is the first time Claude has ever touched me for a long period of time without abruptly moving away. Tentatively, I move my hands, feeling the fabric of his shirt and the warmth of him underneath it. Claude. But before I can finish my sentence, my lips are sealed. I feel Claude's lips on mine, only briefly, but it is enough to make me suddenly feel faint. He pulls away from me with a brilliant smile. I've always wanted to do that. Briar, you're blushing. If I could, I would kiss you again, but we have some urgent things to attend to, like a whole entire invasion. The reality of the situation begins to seep back into me. My father, Varg, 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎, they're all still in the throne room. The king! Let's go, Briar. When Claude and I rushed into the throne room, my attention is immediately grabbed by the king calling my name. Briar! He is still bound to the throne, though. His gag is removed. A rush of relief flashed through me. He is alive. He is alive and he remembers me. My gaze is drawn to the two men battling at the base of the throne. Their swords are locked together in a stalemate. 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 and... Fritz? What happened? This is not how you gain power. I knew you would be a thorn in my side from the moment I concocted this plan. Where is Varg? The only one here is me, and I will... Fritz's concentration slips as his eyes land upon me. The opening is small, but it's enough to give 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 the opportunity he needs. Watch out! Claude is already running over to help, but even he is too slow. 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 disarms Fritz before driving his sword through Fritz's chest. No! 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 pulls the sword out of Fritz's chest just fast enough to deflect Claude's attack. As Claude drives 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 away from the throne, I rush to where Fritz has collapsed to the ground. His eyes are already growing glassy. Fritz! I lean over to him. There's so much blood. I glare at 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎. How could you do this to your own son? Anyone in my way will meet my sword. Blood does not matter. Princess. I turn back to Fritz in alarm, tears in my eyes. Fritz, hold on. Don't speak. You need to conserve your energy. Princess, I'm sorry. Fritz, please don't speak. I feel bitter tears stinging my eyes. I'm sorry. I watch as the life seeps from Fritz's eyes. I put my hand to his chest to feel for a heartbeat, but Fritz's body is still. Fritz! I glance up at the sound to see Claude at the far side of the room, struggling to get to his feet. Briar, watch out! I turn, but I am not fast enough. I see 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎's sword raised high in the air, and I know it will reach me before I can pick up my sword. The sword falls from 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎's hand as a bright red ribbon of light twines around the hilt and drags it far from reach. I turn and see Dolora standing a short distance away. Jurian, Garland, and Waltz all standing behind her. I'm afraid your performance as king has been incredibly disappointing. Jurian and Garland move together, rushing 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 from the same side. I see Claude moving in from the other side, quiet and lethal. Princess! Waltz and Dolora rush over to me as the fighting continues. 𝒖𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 has reclaimed his sword and is trying to evade attacks from 3 different swords at once. The king! Waltz nods at me, his gaze lingering on Fritz as his expression becomes solemn. He walks off to the throne, while Dolora kneels beside me. Dolora! Delora shakes her head, and that is all I need to know, that there is nothing more to be done. We will make sure he is properly honored, but for now we need to get you out of here. What about Ophelia? Waiting for us somewhere safe. I constructed a shield around her that will keep her hidden from view and harm until we return for her. Weren't we meant to bring the royal family back to the Marchand first? Not when we're missing the king. Besides, plans change when a magical beast starts rampaging in the castle. Princess! I turn to look at Alcaster, who is still somehow managing to scream my name despite the fact he's been quickly overwhelmed. Princess, we could have worked together. If you were more like your mother, you could have ruled with grace, beauty, and fear. I flinch back and Delora's hands come to rest on my forearms, her grip steadying. That is enough. I look up and see that the king has stopped to stand beside me. To my surprise, the king rests a gentle hand on my shoulder, his eyes soft as he looks at me. Briar, we have a lot to talk about, but right now I have something I must do. I nod mutely and watch as the king draws his sword. He makes his way to Alcaster. Julian, Garland, and Claude step back from where they have forced Alcaster to one knee. You are a traitor, lacking any honor, Alcaster. You are the one that lacked honor. A ruler must have the people beneath his thumb. A ruler must lead people, not suffocate them. His oath as king is to protect them. You are no king, Alcaster. For your crimes, I find you guilty and incapable of rehabilitation. The sentence for the severity of your crimes is death. The king raises his sword, and I turn away before he strikes down his sword. There is no sound or scream to follow. I turn once more to see that this king has pointed the sword at Alcaster's chest, but has not killed him. You will stay in the prisons until the time for your trial becomes. Though you might try to refute these claims, you will be tried as a traitor to this kingdom, and then you will be executed. Alcaster's shoulders fall. The glare never leaves his face, not even when guards seize him and drag him from the room. The king immediately sends Julian and Garland out to deal with any knights that are still a part of the coup. Delora and Claude help with moving Fritz's body, while Waltz tries his best to fill the king in on the most basic points of our successful operation. Everything has died down a little bit over the last hour, but I still feel overwhelmed. I glance at Waltz and the king who are still speaking. Every time the king sees me looking at him, he flashes me an uncertain smile before glancing away. I know he wants to speak with me, but I will talk to him after I get Fritz's body out of my mind. It was my fault he died, wasn't it? He saw me and stumbled. Hey princess, what are you doing here? Here, I thought you changed, but you've still got some feistiness left in you, don't you? Many years ago, when the war ended, we were all faced with a feeling just like this, princess. We had lost so much, and the future seemed so grim. But now it's different. You have a future. You broke your curse, princess. That gives you some kind of hope. And in addition, you broke karma's. Memories of Claude's arms around me, of his lips on mine, come flying back to my foggy mind. My heart still feels tight, but it is a little lighter when I think about him. I wish he was here right now. How did I break Claude's curse? Claude. I don't think I'll ever get used to his real name. Seems like he hasn't told you yet. I guess it's been pretty hectic. So Claude turned into the beast because he loved me. Well, I guess I could give you the laydown of his curse. Stop! Desist! Delora has not even started to speak when Claude runs into the room, gasping as if he'd been running in through the halls. Curse! Are you speaking about my curse? There's no way he heard us talking in the hallway, is there? Even I feel at the loss for words right now. I sense that you might be talking about me. The princess was just asking me about your curse. Oh, then I was right to come running, and here I was just guessing at what you might be talking about. Karma, I mean Claude's curse, was based off the tale, the beauty, and the beast. Claude easily finishes her sentence. Delora holds up her hands as if in surrender, so eager to steal the spotlight. Well, you are talking about me, after all. You always told me that your curse was just the beauty's curse, though. Well, yes, because the other half was a little difficult to explain, wasn't it? He has a point. Though I think he might have been able to save us all some trouble if he hadn't been so secretive about his curse. He must have been really scared that I would shun him. Allow me to explain, princess. In the fairy tale, a prince of a kingdom is transformed into a beast because his heart is as cold as ice. Sounds familiar to a certain icy princess, eh? Just trying to lighten the mood? Claude sighs. I would call Briar something far more flattering, like my sweet beloved. We were talking about your curse. Alright, well anyway, the witch who cursed the prince in the tale tells him that he has to learn to love and be loved before the petals of a rose completely falls off. A rose. Yes, she gives him a rose, and he keeps it protected under glass. Some time passes, and the rose continues to wither away. The maiden finds the beast, and eventually, the two fall in love. At the end of the tale, she confesses her love to the beast, and he transforms back into a human. By confessing, I saved you. But his curse was different from the tale. I know what you're thinking, that my curse was somewhat different. It was more complicated. The witch made it so that I was both the beauty and the beast. She said it suited me because I was so vain. The witch constructed a very roundabout curse. Any woman who falls for me falls in love with me as the beauty. But when I transform into a beast, the enchantment would break and they'd become terrified of me. I doubt Cloud ever thought he would break his curse. The love woman felt for him while he was cursed was always fake. How could that kind of love hold strong when he turned into a beast if it was never true to begin with? Then you came along, princess. I bet he'd just about given up hope and was waiting for you to dispel the curse on your birthday, but now here you both are. But the ice princess in love? What a miracle. I turn away, embarrassed. It is not a miracle. I am very glad I met you, Briar. Lady Dolores' words are the truth. I had just about given up hope. I had never had any hopes of breaking my curse. I had thought that the only way to fix it would be to have you dispel it on your birthday. But then I came to know you and you fell in love. A fairy tale indeed. You started out frowning at everyone and everything. You've come a long way, princess. Congratulations, you turned out to be a pretty okay princess. And you turned out to be a pretty okay witch. Gasp! Do my ears deceive me? A compliment from our little witch? You look so surprised, but you'll be the new bearer of our crystal real soon, princess. I expect good things from you. Right, I almost forgot about that part. I'll try my best. Yet another miraculous proclamation from the little witch. Will the surprises never cease? Before I can snap at Delora again, the king awkwardly interjects, coming to a stand next to us with Waltz by his side. Pardon the intrusion. Oh, not at all, your majesty. Waltz told me that you were cursed, that's why I forgot about you. Yes. Even if it was a curse, I feel terrible that such a thing could have ever happened. So I will make it up to you. We can catch up from where we were many years ago, and maybe things can be different. I'm sorry. What for? For being the way I was before. For shunning Ophelia and her children. Oh. Ophelia, did her bring her back to the mansion? Ophelia is still here. After the fight was over, she was shown back to her room. She is still waiting for Rod and Emmeline to return. Now, would you maybe be willing to tell me this story from the beginning? Perhaps I could fill the gaps, your majesty. Claude. The king looks startled when he stares at Claude. He blinks as if he has just noticed his presence. Oh, and you are? Claude elegantly bows before the king. I am Prince Claude of Brigantia. A pleasure to finally meet you, your majesty. The lost prince. The king turns to me with a puzzled look. It's a long story. Claude surprises me by wrapping an arm around my shoulders and pulling me closer to him. Everyone looks shocked except for Delora, who looks like she's trying not to laugh. As the princess's lover, I feel it my obligation to help her explain this whole mess. What the... I feel my face getting hotter at Claude's sudden proclamation. All their eyes are now on me, and I suddenly feel like hiding myself. Only Claude would so bluntly say such a thing. The king looks more shocked than anything. When does this happen? Well, your majesty, I think we had better start at the beginning. We were able to tell the king everything, save for where Briar had disappeared to. No one was sure where he had gone in all the chaos. The night searches for him all ended in failure. A lot of explaining had to be done, not just to the king, but also to the people at the tavern. As soon as everything had calmed down, Rod and Emmeline finally went back to the palace. I apologized to them as best as I could, and they all seemed willingly to try again with me, and I'm willing to try again too. As for Claude... So you're going back? Are you sure you don't want to come to Brigantia with me just for a short holiday? I would love nothing more than to introduce you to my family. Mother would shower you with gifts. Father would, well, tease you probably. He makes jokes frequently. And Llama. What did you just... Llama? He has a pet llama? My brother, Llama. What? Another acronym. We're Karma and Llama. Well, does your father do these things on purpose? I told you he likes jokes. My father's real name is Lance. I was going to bring you back and introduce the two of you. And you could tell my little brother how very charming I am. Is it just my imagination, or is there a glimmer of competition in his eyes? As much as I would like to meet your family, you have your own obligations here. and you need to let your family know that you are safe and alive. But the thought of being separated from you. Cloud sighs before he leans down and plants a kiss on my forehead. I'll miss you. You won't be gone that long. Love, that's not how you're supposed to respond. You're supposed to say, my sweet prince, I'll miss you too. Fine then, I'll miss you too. Maybe. Cloud raises an eyebrow at me and then smiles. I'll be back for your birthday. I love you, Briar. It has only been a few weeks since Cloud left, but I am impatient. The king has been throwing grand dinners every night in preparation for my birthday, but I can hardly concentrate on anyone else when I am thinking of Claude. I told him all about the smaller birthday celebrations. I thought he would be here for them. My birthday's in a few days. When will he come back? I've tried to make myself busy, mainly by continuing my sword practices with Julian and Garland, who have both rejoined the Order of Caldera. Every time I am around the knights, I think of Fritz. Rest in peace. I shall bring some new flowers tomorrow. If Claude would just return already, we could go pay our respects together. Hello, Briar, my love, my sunshine, my beautiful betrothed. Claude? I shake my head and try to gather my thoughts. First of all, you did not knock. Second, we are not engaged. We may as well be, don't you think? At the very least, knock before you come in. Still worried I would come in on you in the middle of changing. Would you have minded so terribly? Yes? It's worth saying those things to you just to see you blush. Why are you even here? His arrival is so sudden, and I had absolutely no time to prepare. Cloud sighs dramatically. You didn't want me back here? No, I mean, you did not even write to say you'd be back today. I just wasn't expecting you. I did say I'll be back for your birthday. I am a man of my word. Should I have stayed out longer? No, of course not. I grumble as Cloud walks over to my bed, grinning. He sits down on the bed next to me and wraps an arm around my waist, pulling me closer. I sigh out and lean my head on his shoulder. It is a startling contrast to what it used to be. Before, if I touched him, he would flinch and turn away from me. Now he's always right next to me. Cloud's whole body seems to relax when I tentatively wrap my arms around him and hug him back. I knew I would miss you, but it really was terrible being away from you. But you enjoyed the time with your family. I did, and my brother was very frustrated that I spoke about you almost every hour of the day. How could you have that much to say about me? Oh, I felt like I didn't have enough time to list off all your virtues. I nudge him in the arm, but he just grins at me. A glint from Cloud's pocket catches my eye, and I flush proudly when I notice the rose locket. Looking at the locket makes me think back to that night when he transformed back into a prince. Lost in thought, are we? I was just noticing the locket. You still carry it around with you. Of course I do. It has become my most valuable possession. He pulls the little locket out and pops it open. I'm startled when I see the small sheet of paper with my own words on it. My message to him is still there. Cloud smiles as he reads the words out loud. A normal rose would have withered, so I offer this one instead, in heartfelt thanks. I say nothing when he turns to look at me. Oh, your cheeks are red again. Your embarrassment is adorable, darling. I'm not embarrassed. I just didn't think he'd keep the words in there or that they would ever mean so much to him. Yes, of course, you have just exceptionally rosy cheeks, He pauses as he closes the locket again and looks at it fondly. I love this locket because it is the first gift you gave me. He was holding a locket as the beasts do. It was half the reason I recognized him. I jumped as Claude gently taps my nose with his finger. This locket isn't going anywhere anytime soon, I can assure you. I smile as he winks at me. Anyway, allow me to pull you back into the present. Since I promise you no more secrets, let me tell you something. Oh? Claude looks away from me, his eyebrows furrowing, and I frown. I hope it is nothing serious. I'm nervous about sitting down to dinner with your father tonight. You're nervous. I start laughing without even meaning to. You're laughing at my pain, princess. He pulls me closer and kisses the top of my head. But you are too flamboyant to be nervous. I'm confident, princess, not flamboyant. There's a difference. Right. Claude's expression grows more solemn. He looks at me seriously, almost sadly. Briar, I'm still sorry about lying to you. The whole time I made myself up to be someone beautiful, someone I wasn't. I believe I was truly a good person on the inside, that I deserved good things, even though I was selfish. He's already apologized to me before, too many times. Claude, you did not have to apologize. No, that witch was right to curse me. I've always had everything handed to me on a silver platter. When I came to Angel, I believed if it wasn't going to help break my curse, it wasn't important. And then I met you. At first, I thought I would just have to get on your good side so you could help me dispel my curse. But then, Briar, I realized I was drawn to your confidence and commitment. I could never admit I was in love with you. I was so scared that if I transformed into a beast and you were scared of me, I would lose my chance at winning your heart. So you see, Princess, I was selfish. I wanted all of you without having to give you all of me. I look at where our hands were intertwined, and I grip his fingers tighter. I've told you enough times now that you do not have anything to apologize for. But if you insist on apologizing, maybe you ought to do something to make it up to me. Those words are out of my lips before I can even think them. I stop suddenly, trying to ignore the hot flush in my cheeks. Cloud looks at me puzzled, and for a few moments I feel triumphant that I've caught him off guard. Then the puzzled look fades, and Cloud just grins at me. Oh my, so forward. But forward reminds you of Asterion, really? I open my mouth to apologize when he suddenly grabs my hands and tugs me down to the bed. The instincts Cloud taught me in sword fighting are quickly overwhelmed by my surprise, and in no time at all, he has me pinned down to the bed and is looming just above me, smiling. I'm disappointed. Princess, you knew my weakness and you didn't even exploit it there. Your weakness, yes. He leans closer to me and our noses almost touch. My weakness is you, Briar. He leans down and our lips finally meet. I relax into the contact, my earlier tension melting away as warmth flows through me. He pulls away and smiles at me. You see, I let my guard down in front of you. I let my guard down in front of him too, and only him. This whole time, all I wanted to do was be able to touch him like this. His fingers move gently on my arm, and he leans out to kiss me again. And they lived happily ever... Oh wait, no wait. The sound of knocking startles us both. A muffled voice comes through the door. Princess, the king is requesting our presence down in the dining hall. He says that your friends have arrived. Princess? I hear the doorknob begin to turn and quickly speak. Yes, I'll be there in a minute. I'll let him know, Princess. First the curse and now this. It's as if the world is conspiring against us. He kisses me once more on the forehead before slowly sitting up and running a hand through his hair. I catch the mischievous look in his eyes as I smooth down my own ruffled hair. Don't worry, Briar, we'll just finish this later. I feel my cheeks flush. You say such uncouth things. Cloud chuckles before he stands up and offers his hand. I take it and smile up at him. I love you, Briar, and now I get to say it as many times as I like. I love you too, Cloud. I stand up on my toes to plant a quick kiss on his lips before heading to the door. Let's go, Cloud. Hooray! I think that's the end. Yay! We did it! Can I press... Okay. Wait. I'm save and go to main menu. Oh, wait. Or should I just play it? I guess I could just play it. Because I muted this game audio anyway. But it's like... It's going a bit slowly, the credits. But we did it, guys! We did it! Can see his CGIs. Actually, I should just go to main menu, right? Yeah, I'll just go to main... Oh, wait, I can't go to main menu anymore. No, wait. I still can. Hold on. I'm trying to go to main menu. Yeah, go to main menu. We did it. Did it save? Yeah. Okay. So when you complete a character, their portrait shows up here, and then if you do all, you get all the portraits. Yeah. I like this game so much. I played it last time, like a long time ago, but you can see like there's like CGIs and whatnot. And of course, this is the bad end, by the way. This is where you kill him. You just outright kill him because you don't realize that he's a beast. Like he's the beast and you kill him, and then like that's the bad end. Collect them like Pokemon. Yeah, you guys can play. Actually, you guys can play the game yourself if you want. It's free on Steam. It's Cinderella Phenomenon. I don't think I would, cause I might play through this myself in my own time, because if I want to play the second game, because there's a second game that I bought a long time ago. Yes, you have to buy the second game, but the first game is completely free. It amazes me why it's free. It's like so high quality. It should be charged on itself. But yeah, I might play through this, and if you guys really want to, I might play the second game, but not today. Definitely not today. Maybe sometime like next month or something like that. We can find a time and we read it. Cabbage is like, I'm kind of over visual novels right now. Cabbage is like, no more visual novels. No more love stories. But yeah, that was the ending. Alright, I'm I'm gonna just switch the screen. Hello. I have too many visual novels. Everyone's like, no visual novels, no. All right. Then we won't play the second game then maybe. But I have a lot of visual novels that I kind of want to play. Just that I know that it's not as interesting because it's just me reading the whole thing. So it depends on the. I guess it really depends. But thank you guys for coming. We did it. We finished it. Yay! Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Cherry. Thank you, Enemies. Thank you, Cabbage. Thank you, 𝒖💐🊒, if 𝒖💐🊒 is still here. Thank you, Sam. And Nawar, if you guys are still here at least. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you. I listened to your reading while doing homework. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. You just keep reading and reading and reading. But yeah, my voice is not doing the best today, so I think I'll just end this here. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for coming again. Hopefully I'll see you around in next stream. I don't know when my next stream will happen. I will do it like very suddenly. Like it will just happen sometimes. Now thank you for saying good stream too. Thank you. I hope you guys I'll see you guys next time. I'll probably maybe next week, but I'm not sure when I will stream, so I'll just end it there. I'm not sure when I will stream, but you can always join the Discord. There's a Discord in the description. If you're not a part of the Discord yet, you can try and join, and then you can know whenever I stream next, because we're just gonna there's an auto notification. All right, bye everybody. See you. Bye bye.